of your work?
Want an orange? I'll tell you, I give you a great story of what my wife thinks. 2 years ago, we got invited to a convention. I got invited to a convention in Dublin, Ireland. Con. My wife says, "You're not going to Dublin, Ireland without me." I said, "All right." So I called the convention. I said, "My wife would like to come." They said, "We'd love to have her." I said, "Great." So we flew over there. And on the way over there, she knows nothing about anime. No clue. And I said, "Look, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I'm kind of a big deal." And of course she's like, and I don't mean I'm a big deal. I'm just saying, like when we get to the airport, there probably will be some people to meet us. And maybe going, "Oh, I don't know." She's like, "Whatever. Ding! I need a cocktail." So we get into Dublin, and we get through customs, and sure enough, we walk out, and there's a group of people, like 10 people. "Oh, John Swasey!" She's like, "Oh my God." Really? Oh, for God's sake. So, we get to the hotel, they check us in. Well, while we were actually flying over, or when we were in Chicago, my phone was going off, and it was a couple of clients of mine saying, "We need you for some voiceover work." And I was like, "Well, I'm on a plane to Ireland." And they're like, "Well, is there any way you can get a studio in Ireland and record it and just send it?" I said, "Yeah." So we got a studio booked in Dublin, and it was just outside of Dublin, about 50 miles. So we arranged it and everything. So the minute we got into Dublin, we got to the hotel. Like an hour later, Sinead, our liaison, whisked us away to the train station, and off we went into the country and to this beautiful home, old country home, like 200-year-old home. And it was a recording studio, and we recorded. So on the train, we're sitting there riding along, and just thrilled to be in Ireland. And I excused myself to use the loo. And I later found out, my wife said, "Yeah, so this is the way the conversation went while you were gone." Sinead goes, "I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm sitting here with you and John Swasey. And my God, you get to sleep with him." To which my wife replied, "Yeah, it's not that big a deal." So that, my friend, is what my wife thinks of me doing this. And of course, she's more than thrilled that I'm here over Easter weekend. But frankly, she was being a bitch. I'm glad I'm here. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, yeah.
When you're recording movies, you're recording characters that have silly lines or silly points, like more death, for example. How do you keep yourself from cracking up?
You don't. Yeah, you don't. And a lot of times what's really fun is when you see, you're like, "Hey, are they coming in? Have they already recorded?" I'm like, "No." "Okay, bat it up. Let me give you another line." And you'll do something like, something very vulgar and very silly. But no, it's fun. And it's, when you say silly lines, yeah, you have moments where you crack up and you just take a pause and relax and get over it. But yeah, it just, sometimes you say lines that just, like Salvador. You're just like, "Oh my God, really?" So I was at a convention earlier this year in Miami called Animate Miami, and these guys brought me. They did two things. They give me these wood cutouts, a piece of wood, like a block of wood like this big, and it has a cutout. And one of them was a character named Wong from Darker Than Black. And I was like, "Oh, that's very cool, man. Wow, well done." And the other one they gave me, it says, "It's like having 3 dicks." Yeah, all the time. I just auditioned for a show the other day, and you know, you're saying lines, you're like, I have no idea what this means. I don't know. And pardon me, that's a difficult thing too, because being in Houston, I audition remotely, and I don't have the luxury of having the director give me context, which is sort of a crippling, you know what I mean? I'm at a disadvantage. So I'm, you know, like in this particular show, Zach Bolton is the director who directed me in Soul Eater and Darker Than Black, and you know, so I'm just hoping that, you know, he likes what I do, but also he knows what I can do, and so he'll give me a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, you know. Because I also, you know, again, I don't have the same kind of voice Vic does, or Todd Havercorn, or Tatum, or, you know, we all have different voices, but especially somebody like a Vic or a Todd, and yet I was still trying to audition for some of those voices, because I'd like to, I think I can do it. I know I can. Just, you know, sometimes you get pigeonholed in different roles, but anyway, that's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite Undertaker line?
Undertaker's a little like this. It's sort of like Lord Death, just with a bit of a Cockney accent in it. Sort of like having 3 dicks.
Maybe that's just going to be my line for every anime now. That's just all I'm going to say. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever practiced in public or just talk
I've had a lot of people say, oh my God, you're so-and-so. Yeah, that happens all the time. No, I mean, not really. I was I was going to a convention back in August in Melbourne, Australia, and I was flying from Houston to LA. And while I was on the plane, I was sitting next to these 2 older ladies, and they were asking me, you know, why are you going to LA? And I said, well, I'm on my way to Melbourne. Why are you going to Melbourne? Well, I'm going to an anime convention. What's anime? Anime, Japanese animation, blah, 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 blah. What do you do? I'm a voice actor. Really? Yeah, fascinating. So anyway, as we get off the plane, the girl in front of us turns around and she goes, I couldn't help overhear that you're a voice actor. Is there anything that I might know that you've done? And I mentioned a couple of shows, and she was like, oh my God, I love you. And these 2 ladies are like, he wasn't lying. And of course, it's always fun to order stuff from Jack in the Box, but hello, I'd like 2 tacos, please. Is that Undertaker? Yeah, another question? Yeah. Would I do what? To you, I thought you meant in my head. Yeah. I did it like 4 times. God, gas bags. He's like this, right? Kind of. It's like having 3 dicks. Yeah.
It's like having 3 dicks. 3 dick chop.
I'm sorry, say that question one more time.
If you play characters you did not think you would like, and then you ended up liking?
No, I've enjoyed every character I played. I will tell you, there was one character that I didn't think I would do very well at, and I guess I did okay. It's in a show called Kaleidostar, It's an older show, I don't know if you know it, but I played a character named Ken Robbins. And it's a complete departure from most of the stuff I do. Because he's like, hey, how you doing, Sora? He was a real young guy, kind of naive, and I didn't really think I'd do well, but apparently I guess I did okay. But it was a real departure. But I like all the characters I play. You know, it's a lot of fun, and they're always a hoot. And you know, I love one of the neat things about, like, especially with Zach Bolton, he'll do this. We'll do, like when we did Death. When we started doing Soul Eater, we probably did half an episode. And then he said, you know what? I'd like to start over because where your voice is right now is where I wanted it to be. So let's go back and do those first lines again because it kind of took a little ramping into it. And so there is that kind of, you know, you don't just click it on and turn it on. There's a development and sort of an exploration of finding the right voice. And hopefully your director can guide you there. And that's exactly what happened with him, with Lord Death. Because, you know, when I first auditioned for Lord Death, I was thinking, I didn't know the show, Soul Eater. I was thinking Lord Death. I'm thinking, like, you know, I just finished doing Crocodile, so I'm thinking, Lord Death, he's a badass, you know. And it's like, no, it's not at all. I mean, listen to it. I mean, because another thing, too, when you're doing this, you know, we're replacing the Japanese. And while we are trying to add somewhat of what we can bring, we need to honor what the original actor did. We can't go in there and completely change it. I mean, think about it. If you went and watched a movie, an American movie, and they replaced, you know, Bruce Willis with a, you know, whatever, you'd be like, dude, you ruined the movie. I mean, so we have to honor and respect what the Japanese have originally done and try to mimic or, you know, get into that zone. I mean, we can bring a little bit of what we do, but we really need to respect that, I think, because they're the ones that created it. So, anyway, we have time for like one more question, or three. So, yeah. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and then you have one in the very back. So we'll do 4 more questions, and that'll be it. Yeah. If I could have a beer with any of my characters, all of them. You kidding me? Great question, though. I'm going to start tonight. Yeah. Yeah.
If you were a girl voice actor, what kind of voices or what kind of characters would you voice like?
If I was a girl voice actor, what kind of... First of all, I wouldn't be saying it's like having 3 dicks. I'd be like Lucy Christian or Monica Rial, whatever they do, because they are 2 of the most brilliant voice actresses I've ever had the pleasure to work with. What's that? One more question here, and then we have one over there. No? One over there?
I was wondering if you could do Undertaker's laugh.
You gotta speak up, sweetie.
Could you do Undertaker's laugh?